Taurus, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. Happy day. Well, happy spring equinox. We're on the horizon when I am recording this of the spring equinox, which is really exciting. It really gives us an opportunity to quote unquote plant new seeds. Spring is in the air. It puts a little extra pep in our step, and we're moving into Aries season. Aries season is all about self. It's about investing in self. It's about really kind of making peace with who we are and what we want and how we're going to go after those things. Unfortunately, though, Mercury and Venus are in retrograde. Or it's not unfortunately, I should back that up. But Mercury and Venus are in retrograde, so it is highlighting partnerships, dynamics, places where there's not reciprocity, where there's tension, or we also are seeing a lot of karmic lessons play out, come to a close, come to a head, over things that we've been dealing with for quite some time. So there's a lot. There's a lot. There's been a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions during Pisces season. That water element has been heightened. But as we're moving into Aries, it's giving us this empowerment. It's giving us this ability to be creative with our solutions, with our approach, and especially around those things that need some boundaries, adjustments. It's too much toxicity. It's not serving our life anymore. So that's why I like to start off with an energy cleansing, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the reading. It cleanses out some of that limitation, restriction that we might be coming into. It's also a really good time to set your own intention as well, Taurus, especially if you've come into this reading with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation and kind of the direction that it is headed in, or if you're looking for more of a realignment of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're operating from that space of alignment, that's really where we're choosing things that honor our heart, our mind, our soul, that bring us happiness and fulfillment. We don't necessarily get trapped into those things that are short-term gratifications or really not leading us to where we want to go. So if you're interested, I would love to help and support in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All that info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. Taurus, I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama love, Mama love. It's falling apart on me here. I gotta move these cinders. All right, Taurus, let's get into it. So what I do love is, like I mentioned, I think the moving into Aries season is heightening that fire element. So as much as it has been extremely watery, i.e. really provoking our emotions, our feelings around people, around situations, especially things that are kind of coming out of the woodwork, like things that we maybe had instincts around, we maybe knew it was going to kind of move in that direction, but we were kind of crossing our fingers, hoping that it wasn't. Those things are the bittersweet. Yeah, it's the destabilizing. This energy of release, of letting go, cutting ties is what I'm hearing, ending cycles. Pisces season definitely gives us the opportunity for that, because as we move into Aries season, it's a fresh start, right? And it's a start where we can focus on ourselves. And when we invest in ourselves first, then we can go back to the table and invest in the people, situations that are around us. But there are things that we're letting go of that have been not so fun. Emotions that are being triggered around, people essentially that are like mirroring back to us, situations that are mirroring back how we think, how we feel about ourselves. And I feel like in a lot of ways, even though it's not fun, don't hate me for saying this, but there's this value in the stress and the burden, because it's actually what's forcing you to heal. And I'm hearing that, like, Taurus, like, you're finally surrendering this week. I feel like you've been dealing with something that's been not fun. I don't know, like, and you've put a good effort into it as well. Like, you've put a good effort into it. This is something that I do feel like you were taking a chance on, that you were kind of crossing your fingers hoping it would work out. But it also just feels like it was a stepping stone, that there's more available to you if you actually give yourself the opportunity to explore different opportunities. What I will say is your energy does look like you have this level of peace. As much as you're watching things, dynamics, situations end, that can definitely feel a little bit painful, right? Like letting go. But I do see peace for you. I see peace because it is the ending of some struggle, is what I'm hearing. Things that didn't feel quite right. Things that, again, maybe on the surface it looked one way, but then when you're engaging with it, when you're interacting with it, it just didn't really equate to that. It didn't equate to like how it looked at that surface value. And it was here to teach you lessons 100%, or, like I said, getting to the next base. King of Wands energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, dealing with someone or something that, just kind of causes a lot of conflict, or you feel really conflicted around this person. Taurus, earth energy, fire energy, they're two different beasts, right? And I feel like sometimes fire energy can be incredibly pompous or arrogant, self-assured, or that's just how this person is coming across to you, They might not even necessarily be a fire sign, but vibing in that energy of fire, where I do see like they've kind of put themselves on a pedestal, they've removed themselves and from your grasp, so to speak. It's almost like either you can't get into contact with them, or they're breadcrumbing you, kind of picking and choosing when they're going to respond, when they're not. Everything's always elusive and up in the air. And I do feel like you're authentically approaching it in this way of like, either just trying to reach out or just trying to communicate, just trying to get your point across, and whatever this is, they want it on their own time. It does look like they're changing how they're interacting with you. I also see that they're moving through a lot of changes within themselves. And I feel like this is changes that are hard, to put it mildly. This feels like things that are really kind of bashing their ego is what I'm seeing. Like a lot of how they're responding to you in kind of this arrogant, know-it-all type way, or very much like you owe them or you're subservient to them, is because a lot of like whatever they're going through in their own life. And that doesn't necessarily make you responsible for it, but I do feel like you're seeing another side of this person, of this situation, and it doesn't really look like you are engaging a lot with this energy. I feel like you're keeping your sanity, you're keeping your peace. Again, this was more about a lesson for you of what you deserve, right? Like how you are thinking, believing about self, about, exactly what you deserve. Sorry, not to be overly redundant, but this is that value, like I was saying, of someone who just is there to mirror back some of the harder stuff, some of the more difficult stuff. It does look like they are taking, I feel like maybe some of the stuff that they're moving through right now is they're taking a sidestep from you. It's not necessarily intentional to attack you, even though you might be getting some of the backlash from whatever they're dealing with. Because as it moves forward, it does feel like for whatever reason, it comes back around. Okay. It comes back around, because I think that they move through, or they're able to make peace with whatever whatever's going on for them. I feel like it's almost like they need space from you. And even if they're not directly communicating it, that's what they're doing. I think they're just trying to save face is what I'm seeing. Like they feel stupid or humiliated and again, that's kind of why you're getting this backlash this week. But I also see, like I said in the very beginning, like you're okay with it. Not that you want them to treat you that way, but you're giving them space. You're giving them space to kind of do what they need to do. You're trying not to pressure them, but you're not running, chasing after them, etc. But you're also, it also doesn't make you feel great. I don't know. This does feel a little bit like a back and forth energy. I'm not going to lie. Also, friendly reminder, what's in your blocked energy this week is expansion, evolution, growth, potential. So I feel like this is a little bit of someone who it's not only about them doing this all the time, but because we all have these moments where, we need to take a sidestep from life. This person isn't communicating it though. And I feel like there are things that I feel like Spirit also wants you to look at. Things that maybe aren't as readily apparent on the surface. There's a reason why you're feeling conflicted over this, because the way that they go about it might be really toxic. It might just feel a little bit like not fair, or for some reason, there's this energy of getting the short end of the stick. I feel like maybe it's asking you to be a little bit more cognizant of their experience and what they're going through. Sometimes we don't necessarily listen. Sometimes we kind of turn a blind eye to things that people say when they're trying to communicate to us, etc. I feel like this is a lot about learning how to dance with one another, learning how to interact, how to engage, how to communicate. I want to just clarify this globe. I also feel like, and again, it's not necessarily bad to keep this dynamic around, but it feels, like I said, like there is a lot of back and forth around it. And it does feel to some capacity, it's keeping you limited, whether you're investing too much energy into it, so it takes up the majority of your time, or like, I feel like there's a deeper layer, Taurus, of making certain changes, of how dependent you are on this person, on this situation, because it does feel a little bit like it's a central focus on them. And there's other opportunities around you that are waiting for you, but you kind of have to get out of your own head. You kind of have to get out of your own routine in order to connect with this, right? It's also going to help move through some of the stress and the burden that this other dynamic is causing you. It's going to give you a little bit more peace than what you're experiencing. So it's not always this like frustration and annoyance that you have to continually try to like be okay with or like find balance around, or, especially with how they're engaging, how they're interacting with you. You don't want to be the one always taking the hit. And that's how it feels a little bit. And while I do see them coming back around and convincing you in a way that makes you feel happy, excited for what is to come, I'm not sure that this pattern is completely over. So just be mindful. I hope that this reading helped. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always, Taurus. Definitely drop comments below if it resonated. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.